Limpopo officials are assessing the damage caused by veld fires around Palabora 5 days ago. They've declared a local state of disaster in the area. Several people have lost homes and businesses. Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala is in Palabora and joins us now. Nqobile, tales of destruction from what we understand. Just paint a picture of us of just the extent of damage that you've been able to witness.
Well, Hugo, in various houses we have seen how difficult it has been for most people to have to see how damaged their homes has been. This is one of those homes that we are currently in. There's a family of 5 that lives here, and what you're seeing in front of us used to be a yard, and we hear that the man of the house used to spend a lot of his time here. This was his man cave. This is also used to be a laundry area where they used to do their laundry, but of course all of that now has been burned to ashes, and the family is just sort of getting through it a day at a time, trying to figure out what really happened and how they're going to move forward. And of course I've got the lady of the house to speak to us about that. And I mean, it's a difficult time for you, especially the children, you were saying to us.
Yes, it's difficult for us because we have the firstborn child, she's in matric. Mm-hmm. She was supposed to write 2 subjects. So her notes, everything was bent. So we are basically left with nothing. Everything, the books, everything.
What have you spoken to the school about this?
Yes, I was supposed to go to the school when you phoned me because there were only 2 subjects left. Mm-hmm. So she managed to write both of them.
All right. I just want us to perhaps walk into the house and just see if you can show us what happened here. We'll follow your lead, of course. Were you entering?
This used to be the kitchen.
So it used to be a kitchen area.
Yeah.
Tell me how it looked like. What were you seeing here?
It was a double fridge there. Yeah. Then it was a stove. And here it was a wooden, what do you call it? My English is finished.
A cupboard.
Yeah, there's wooden cupboard. Yeah, there was a microwave here. And here behind you too. It was going all around. And there, it used to be a sink there.
Mm. And of course, what I see also here is that there are books on the floor. So yeah. Imagine these are some of the notes that you were talking about that your grade 12 as well as the younger ones were using, and all of that has now burned.
And this was the dining area, and this one used the grade 12 child. She used to do her homework here because it was a computer here, it was a printer. She was like working here, so she used to study here. Mm. So everything is gone.
How was she taking it? This used to be an area she used to spend a lot of time in.
I don't know how she feels, but we're taking it one day at a time. Mm. And this used to be the play area for the little one. And this one, it used to be the sitting area for the kids. There were couches and it was a plasma there and there were toys in here. Even here you can see the bicycle for the little one is bent to the ground.
Yeah, I'm going to ask Max to perhaps just look at that just for us. Okay. What have you been able to perhaps speak to the insurance to see what they can help you with?
That part is my husband. Is the one who's
been in control of it.
Yeah.
But how are you doing?
I'm emotionally drained. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed by everything. Yeah. And this used to be the sitting area for the adults. Yes.
I'm sorry that what has happened.
Thank you, ma'am.
Where are you staying now?
We are staying at the lodge somewhere, Luso.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you getting any sort of help?
Yeah, the community has been so amazing. The people came together, helping one another. So the people really were amazing. And the CPF, they were so amazing. They made it easier for us because we couldn't cope without them. So even the community, they donated food. Everything that we have now is because of the community, even the clothes that we were wearing.
All right. When the fire started, was there any messages that came through? Was there anyone who saw it?
Yeah, my husband was in the house with my eldest daughter. So she was supposed to go and attend school. So she left, I think after 20 minutes, he phoned her and said that the house is burning, and I was in church with the smaller kids. So they couldn't get hold of me, obviously, because I was in church. So then they phoned my mom. Then my mom was the one who came to fetch me from the church.
Yeah. But did the municipality reach out to the communities to warn that there was a fire?
No, not that I know of.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, Mama.
Thank you.
I think she better explained it, emotionally draining and very difficult situation to look at and to have to be under in this position. So the damage you could see there for yourself, and of course kids now are affected. A grade 12 people that needs to write could not write because they didn't have notes. So families here are going through a lot.
Nqobile, you asked a very important question to the lady there, and that question was around what emotions is she going through. And one can only imagine the level of trauma based on the wreckage that we are seeing, just shells of microwaves and certainly other things within that former homestead. Talk to us about if you've had any engagement with the local municipality in Palabora, just to get a sense of, are they making any attempts to assist the individuals or the victims, the families that have suffered these tremendous losses? I know that trauma counselling is certainly a big part of it, but the other, like you mentioned, the issues around children that are going to school that no longer have books and so on. Just what effort is being made to lessen this massive burden that these families are faced with at the moment?
So we have reached out to the local municipality, and what they've told us, and I'm going to walk out as well, but what they've told us is that tomorrow they are going to be meeting with the provincial that's going to be visiting some of these homes, and most of their answers now are going to come from that. They said that even though they've declared the local disaster, provincial is now going to perhaps give them an answer in terms of what will be the way forward for these communities and how they can better assist them. We know the Treasury is going to be visiting tomorrow, which will also give them an understanding of how much they can perhaps spend if they do have, as well as the command center which the community has set up, which they're going to be visiting as well, to sort of gauge how they're going to work with communities. But at this point, the mayor has had to visit another area, and they said that they will give us time to speak to the mayor, and of course they will speak in terms of how they are going to assist. So if you speak to the municipal manager, at the moment there's no answers. Everything is still in the air. It seems like they're still looking into the matter. I mean, it's 5 days later, so it's very difficult for these families. And I think a lot of them want answers, but the local municipality as well is saying that provincial needs to step in and also assist, because it looks like this is a bit bigger than what they can also just handle by themselves.
So before we let you go, just a little bit more clarity as we try and piece this puzzle together. We understand that it has been declared a local state of disaster. So that speaks to the intensity or immensity of the fire that broke out. You've given us visuals of this particular homestead that was burnt to a shell. Give us an idea of where you are in this particular area. Is it a number of homes that were burnt? We also understand that businesses were impacted. Just illustrate for us, if you will, from what you've been able to see, the extent. You know, are you talking about an entire street, an entire business block? Just what is the extent of the damage from what you've been able to see?
Well, Hugo, mostly we've seen about 4 or 5 houses in this area. And what you see there is the damage that we have basically had to work with or to see. Mrs. Sambo is not the only one who has felt that her home has just been gutted down and there was nothing more to do. A lot of people here are devastated. It's emotional. The gentleman we spoke to before this, he said him and his wife have basically spent most of their money building their home. And all of it is gone. And it started with the lapa burning and it ended up with his home. And I think one of the problems that have come out is that there was water, but there wasn't enough pressure. So a lot of people, when they were trying to help, there wasn't enough pressure or water to use that day. And so there is a sense of unhappiness from that end that the municipality could have done better. If the water issues here were attended to, then they wouldn't have to deal with what happened here. At the same time, we went to a business which is called Elegance House, Guest House, and there you have some of the employees that are currently now unemployed because there is no business to run, because the entire thing has basically burnt down. But what's sad there is that there's no insurance to step in, and a whole house has been lost, a whole business has been lost, and people are losing their livelihoods. So this is affecting them far beyond what should be happening, really. So they were saying that they've had to recover from COVID, and it took them a while, and now they've had to deal with the fire. That in itself now is also difficult. But the owner of the guest house was highlighting to us that as a business owner, that's what used to be her income too. So without that house now, guest house now, that means that she needs to go back into the market. And the question is there any employment there is for her at this point? So a lot of people very emotionally affected. This is difficult for a lot of these families. You can hear from the lady as well that we spoke to, and this is the sentiment that we're getting, that the community is sort of clubbed together. They continue to help each other, but they're asking for the municipality to go forward now and step in and see how they can help. There's some people that have insurance, some don't. Just like that guest house, it's all gone now.
And finally, the fire department, were they active in putting out or stemming the blaze in any of the areas at all?
What we heard from Anton, who was speaking to us a little earlier on, he says that he started communicating with the fire department via... So he started communicating with them, and he says that when they came in, they did assist. The problem, though, was getting the water. Because of the water pressure, getting the water as quick as possible was a bit difficult. But he says that some areas here only had one person who was assisting because there was so much that was currently happening in this area that there was not enough manpower. Of course, we are yet to hear from the officials as well, but we are hearing from the community that mostly the people that we are assisting was the community. And when the fire departments did come, they also did their best, but because of the water pressure and the fact that there wasn't enough water in and around, there was not much that could be done. A lot of these houses that you see, this is the first house. There are about 2 other houses that caught fire. So the fire was going from one point to the next. And the gentleman we spoke to said the palm trees, because they've got quite a lot of palm trees here and it's dry, it started picking up fire and sort of transporting it to the other areas. So as a result, in this area, you've got about 5 houses that basically passed on fire to each other. So in that point, you can imagine for the firefighters as well, when they are working, it must have been difficult as well because they needed to stretch. It wasn't just one place, but it was more places that they needed to attend to, hence the community also stepped in.
Nqobile Madlala coming to us from Palabora, where that devastating fire has wrecked the lives of many families and homes in that area. Obviously still much to come from the municipality just to establish what they've done and certainly what they can do for these families over the next few days. Well, so to come on the show, there seems to be no end in sight to mass shootings.